Good morning, boys and girls. This morning we'll be tackling the king and pawn versus king. Okay, that's a basic endgame, and we have to know it. Let's share the screen. I've prepared the board. Where are you sharing the screen? Right here. Chess analysis. There we go. So this is a most fortunate situation where not too much of an effort is required for you to being able getting the pawn successfully at the end, promote it into a queen. Whether it's black or white's turn makes no difference. Very easy stuff to do. Let's assume it's black's turn. So black was right here on e8. They go to the left or right, doesn't make any difference. You'll be very nicely playing the king over to f7. And now you do control those very important squares. They call them the key squares. So the opponent's king can't approach them. Okay, now they may try to stick around, but not very successfully. They just nothing they could do, sadly for them, to stopping the pawn. So now you get yourself a queen, and you play as we've done already, we've discussed already, we've covered the checkmate, basic checkmate with the king and queen versus king, and you're going to win. Now let's suppose it's black's turn. Again, makes no difference. No, it was black's turn. It's white's turn now. Okay, so they tried to get into the opposition, but to no avail, really, because you're going to push forwards now, and they will have to play on f7. So there is no chance for a stalemate. And now you get a queen. That's it. You've won. Now, an entirely, totally different situation. Now we're talking if we've got, let's say, on the fifth rank, your king's on the fifth rank and the other guy's in front of you. Now, it is very important whose turn is. Very, 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 very important whose turn is. If it's black's turn, you're going to win. If it's your turn, you're going to draw. Okay, so if it's black's turn, okay, you're going to win the stuff. Let's assume they will be playing back to e8, all right? Now, you have won the opposition. You're going to move your king in front of the other king, and now they'll have to move either left or right. Okay, and you do exactly as we discussed, playing on f7 now, even if they attempt to stop the pawn, too late. Too late. You're going to go with the pawn forwards. They can't stop you. And that's it. You've queen. On the other hand, guys, if it's white's turn to play, good news. For black in this position here, if you're playing with the black pieces, you're going to draw if you just play correctly. Now, what you need to do is by no way moving on f6 or f7 or f8. You don't want to do this. What you want to do is just follow the white king like a shadow. Just follow them wherever they go, okay? Let's say they try to move on to the right, move your king in front of their king. They try to go on f5, move on f7. And if we keep doing that, obviously there will be no progress, and it can't be any progress here. Follow them. Remember to oppose the king. Now, if they try to switch the tactic now and to push the pawn forwards, very important, move the black king on e7. As you can see, you took from the white king those very important squares. So they can't get in front of their pawn and secure their promotion. So now they're just going to push the pawn. And you're doing very well here. Just stay on the same file with the pawn. Stay on the same file. Now, the white king, whatever they try to do, opposing them again, very, very, very important. It's not too much for white to do. Either they move, behind the pawn. It's not going to help them in any way. It's very important now. Play on e7. That's it. What are you going to do? Left, right, it doesn't make a bit of a difference. Okay. Stay on the file with the pawn now. Wait for them to step forwards and then oppose the king. Oppose the king. They check you, get in front of the pawn, stopping their promotion. And now the white king is in total dilemma here. There's just nothing to do. So that's a draw. That's a draw. Very important whose turn is. So if you're on the sixth rank with your king and the pawn is behind you, regardless whose turn is, you are going to promote the pawn. Whereas if you're on the fifth, fourth, third, or third, it is very important to gain the opposition. Let me just give you another example. Let's say I'm having this position here. Okay. Uh, if it's white's turn, you're gonna win. If it's black's turn, you're gonna draw. So let's say it's white's turn. I'm gonna play on to F2. Now the other guy wants to oppose you, but hey, you got your king in front of the pawn. Look at this. And now your king is on E4, the other king is on E6. You just apply what we've discussed, and you're gonna win. Okay, they step on the side, you're already moving forwards, they going on the seventh, you gain the opposition, whatever they do, okay, you're gonna win. Now in this position, I'd recommend you just move over to E3, they moving again to opposing your king, play on E4, they step aside, you're gonna play on to F6, that's it. They try to move on E8, boom, you gain opposition with white, they're gonna go left or right now, you're gonna nicely play on F7, whatever they do, your queen, you getting your queen. Now, let's go back to this position. If it's black's turn, black's gonna draw here. They marching towards your king. Now, you may attempt to, but they marching down because now black is winning opposition. Black king opposes your king. What are you going to do? Not too much. You could just very well shake hands, say thank you for the game. Nice one. Whatever they play, they're going to just oppose you. They don't let you coming down the board to promote your pawn. No way. They're not going to do this. Okay? And if you push forwards, it's not going to help you. You just stay, if you're having blacks here, you stay on the file with the pawn. Really not too much for white to do, opposing them, okay? You oppose them. You don't allow the king to come down the board. You can check the king, boom, in front of the pawn. And that's it. It's a draw. So you got to practice this, boys and girls, a few times. You get the hang of it, and it should be fine, nice and smooth during the game. Remember, you've got to make the opposition, if you're having a pawn, to controlling the key square so that you can enable your pawn's promotion. And if you're playing with the weaker side, if you're having just the king opposing a king and a pawn, you've got to try and move your king opposing the other guy and not allowing them coming down. Now, if it's the unfortunate scenario, you're in the sixth rank, well, if your opponent's king is on the sixth rank and you're on the eighth rank, it's not too much you can do, I'm afraid. But hey, it's very important basic stuff that we need to know. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. Have a very good day.